Hello, bases. This is Mr. Nava, obviously, and this video is designed to help you guys with your all-region music. The first one actually, because you have two pieces of music on the same paper. This page that I'm showing you right now on my screen is a recreation of what I sent you through email. That's where your music is. But on this page, you have two separate parts of music. You have the first one, which we'll call Allegro, because it's to the top and it has Allegro equals 108 to 120. So we'll call the first one, the top one, Allegro, and then we'll call the bottom one Andante because it has the same thing. It doesn't have like a composer name or a name of the song. It just has the tempo markings, the speed. So Andante will be the second one. The one on top will be Allegro. Okay. Now, the way that this is going to work is I'm going to be doing just the top line of music for today, the first four measures. All right. And then I'll do other videos depending on how we're doing with the second line, third line, fourth line, and such. All right. But all we're going to be doing is the first line of Allegro today. The Andante music, it's like its own separate little song over here. But I'm thinking that once we go through Allegro first, Andante will be a little bit easier, and I'll help you guys with knowing what to do and where to do it and how to play these notes and everything. But let's go ahead and get started, okay? The first thing that we have to notice is that our key signature is D major. We have two sharps, just like First Scale March, just like any of the beginner songs that we've been playing that we played last year. All right. So this music is actually really, really easy. It's going to be all tapes, hardly any middle fingers in between the tapes. That is going to change once we start playing these other extra sharp notes, these accidentals, like right here and right here. But let's start in the beginning. The first note is open D, and we have eighth notes. We know that they're eighth notes because they're connected at the bottom or at the top, whichever. These are eighth notes as well. It's just the connections on the top over here and the bottom over here. So we have D first, so play your D string. Then you have E, which is D1. Then you have F sharp, which is D4. Use your pinky. Then we have G. Okay, so we had D, E, F sharp, those three notes that I just played. And then we have G, which would usually be open G, except it has a 1 on top of it. Okay, so if it has a number on top of it, it looks like an open string, but it has a number on top of it. You have to play that note using that finger. Now, how would you play open G with a 1 finger? You wouldn't. What you would do is you would go to the shift 1 or the third tape on D to play that G. Instead of open G, you go to G third tape. So you have to move your index finger from 1 to 3. You have to shift. All right? So the first four notes in Allegro are like this. D, E, F sharp, move G. Okay? And then after that, you have A. Now, A has a 4 on top of it. Usually that would be G1. But since we have our index finger on the third tape of D string, your A is going to be shift 4 or the fourth tape on D string. That's what this one is where my mouse is right there. Also, there's a dot on top of that note. If you should remember that means staccato. That means that note is going to be short and disconnected. So when you play it, I want you to stop the bow on the string. Like that. Not because then you can still hear it. It's still going, okay? So stop. And then you have this note up here. This is D, okay? And D is going to be your the same tape, but on G string. And it's staccato as well. Okay? So right there. The fourth tape on G, that's that last note. So all the notes that we have right here in measure 1 up to where my mouse is right there are going to go like this with the tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, see those last two notes were short? They sound short because I'm letting them go. Okay, I'm letting the sound go. But that's how that goes. 1, 2, 3, 4 in tempo. Okay, now the tempo for this song when you have to play it for the audition is quarter note equals 108 to 120. I'm going to show you what that means, but not yet. Okay, so I'm going to put 108 there for later. So that's measure 1. Measure 2, we're starting again on on A, except when we played A before, it had 4. So it was D, fourth tape. I don't think that we have to just keep on that one. You go back to G1 for this one because there's no number on top of it. So if there's no number on top of the note, you play it normally the way that you usually would. That note would be G string 1. And also, don't forget this, we have this curved line that is connecting the first to the second note. A, B, which would be G4, the second tape. A, B, 1, 4. But the slur, if you don't remember, the slur is when you play a note and you move your bow in one direction for the first note and you move it in the same direction. You keep going the same way for the second note. So instead of going A, B, going back and forth, you go the same way. A, B. You just put the finger down. And you keep the bow moving in the same direction. Okay? After that, it goes back down to A. So A, B, A, G. That would be open G. Then A, rest. Okay? So it would look and sound like this with the slur starting on G1, measure 2. 1, 2, ready, go. A, B, A, G, A, rest. Okay, so that's measure 2. Measure 1 and measure 2 in tempo, in this slower tempo that we're playing, would sound like this, starting in measure 1 into measure 2. 1, 2, open D, 2, eighth notes, go. Short, then rest. Okay, that's measures 1 and 2. Then measure 3, you're starting on D again. This one right here. It's the same note. Do you remember where this was? It's the fourth tape on G. So you're going to be doing a scale down from that note until you get to G1, until you get to A. Okay, so it's going to be just pizzicato, just to show you the notes. That second note, guys, this second note is C sharp. It's not tape. So fourth tape, it's not third tape because that's C natural. That's without the sharp. Because in the key signature, remember I told you we have F sharp and C sharp. This is a C. So if it's a C, it's going to be sharp. The way that we do sharps, instead of this is regular C on the third tape, it would be C sharp in the middle. So you do have to use your middle finger on this note right here. Okay? So doing the scale down again, starting on the pinky on the fourth tape, 4, D, C sharp, that's 2 in the middle, not on the next tape. Then you have to move your hand down to G4, the second tape. B, A. So those are those first 4 notes of measure 3. 4, 2, 4, 1, letter-wise. D, C sharp, B, A, with the bow. Okay, so in tempo. That's not how slow the song goes. This is just for practice right now, okay? After you get down to G1 or A, you go back up to B, and you keep scaling down. B, A, G. Now, what note would come after open G? Going out here a little bit. After open G would be the next string down, which is D, 4. F sharp, because that's what that is, all right? So doing measure 3 right here, starting from the beginning, from G fourth tape, all the way down to F sharp. Remember, you have to reset after the fourth note. A, B, you have to go back up right here, all right? So let's go one by one. 1, 2, ready, go. D, C sharp, B, A, back to B, B, A, G, F sharp. Okay, so they go evenly. They're all the same length. Then in measure 4, you have F sharp. F sharp was the last note right here. Then it's the next note down. So what do you think it is? If we're on F sharp, next one down is going to be E. Okay, and you have another slur. It's going to be E, D1, E. Then you have A, which is G1. Okay, now the way that this slur works, you're going to have to move your bow over while it's going the same direction. Let me show you. You start off with E, D1, E. Then you have to move your bow over to G string and put your index finger on G1 now. Keep going the same way. And then for the third note, right there, you would go the opposite way. Okay, this is no longer in a slur. So, watch that again. Starting on D1, I'm just gonna like literally bring my finger back to G1 for that second note. That's how you do that slur properly. All right. Now this marking down here means that we're gonna decrescendo, which means we're gonna slow our bow down. Get slower on the second and third note because it's a decrescendo. Decrescendo means to make the volume go down, make it go softer. Okay? But those are the first four measures of your bass all region music for this year. Please make sure that you're practicing. Please make sure that you tune your strings. In the description of this video, I'm going to have links for other videos of playing through all of Allegro, playing through all of Andante. And I'm going to have there's chapter or timestamp things in the description también, as well as the website that you can use to tune your strings. Okay, so make sure that your instrument is good. I hope you're good. I hope your instrument's good. I hope you guys are having a good summer still. But relax, but keep remembering that once we get back to school, we have to start going. Okay, I'm gonna help you as much as I can. But if there's something that you're not getting, you're not understanding, talk to me. Let me know. Send me an email, and I'll help however I can. Okay. But thank you very much for listening, guys, and I will see you soon. Bye.